There were some interesting comments by legendary coach Nick Saban on the Pat McAfee show on Thursday, I guess, afternoon, if you will. He said a couple things about some of the teams in the college football playoffs. Let's start with Texas A&M first. I think this was a little bit of shade here, obviously being an SEC coach himself in LSU and Alabama. Texas A&M wasn't always an SEC team, but he said something, how he believes that Texas A&M pipes in noise at Kyle Field. He said, quote, I did more complaining to the SEC office. It was more than complaining that I don't really want to say on this show about the noisiest place. Plus, they pipe in noise. You can't hear yourself think when you're playing out there. He went out to say that he respects the team afterwards. And, I don't know if he really meant to say what he said, but then at the same time, maybe he did. Do you think that Texas A&M pipes in noise? And if so, what do you think about that one?
My guess is no, or also yes. It's like really
they got yell leaders. They have yell leaders. Maybe they're not actually doing it.
Yeah, I don't know. The SEC culture is different, so I'll give him that. But obviously, Saban knows kind of like what the SEC culture is, and went to a ton of different places, like Baton Rouge and some other, even Texas. I believe he went to Texas a few times. Like he's been to the big environments. He certainly knows what the most, like loud environments could be. So I guess there's the possibility, like I don't think anybody was really assuming the Colts were pumping in noise. It's just kind of those fine, keen ears can catch that stuff. It's not so much about whether or not they are for me. It's like, why do we need to do that? I feel like they've got a rabid fan base. Like I just don't see the positive in that other than like getting caught it's just not a good look. But I don't know. Do you think they're pumping a noise?
No, I don't. I think that it's just a little bit of jealousy here. One, I mean, say what you want about these yell leaders and the way that Texas A&M deals with their the way that they cheer and root for their team. Some people don't like it. Some people think it's weird or whatever, grunge, whatever. I don't know what the word is today. Maybe I do need caffeine. Maybe we're starting to get down. I got to watch some Seahawks highlights. Maybe that's the case here. But man, what they do is incredible. I mean, it's insane. The fact that you can get 100,000 strong doing what they're doing right now, I think that was a little bit of a bad shade there. And maybe ESPN was like, you know what? Find a way to push up Miami. Find a way to do that. Maybe that was the case. An ACC team needs some love here. Let's do that. Notre Dame's out. Miami's in. Saban, do your thing with your Toyotas. I don't know. I really don't know what the case was on that one, but I don't think that they were pulled at all. But Nick Saban was, and dare I say, for a lack of better term, because he literally said this, was starting shit. And he didn't say he didn't want to start shit, but he started shit. Right after that, he talked about James Madison and talked about the G5 teams or G6, whatever you want to consider them. I think I'm always going to say G5. I don't know. But either way, James Madison, Tulane, obviously two teams in the college football playoffs instead of a team like Notre Dame, instead of a team like BYU, instead of a team like Texas or Vanderbilt. A lot of people are upset about that. The fact that two of them made the college football playoffs instead of one, saying that the system's broken, so they need to go back and look at this system and get fixes. Nick Saban took it a different step. Nick Saban went forward with this, and I think he was looking for blood. Not only did he call Texas A&M, saying he's piping in noise, then he decides he must have had his Wheaties, whatever it was, because then he goes and says James Madison getting into the college football playoffs over Notre Dame is the equivalent of a AAA baseball team qualifying for the World Series. Do you think that's fair? Do you think that's true? He said they're playing completely different football games out there. Interesting concept. I've heard it way before. Is this Nick Saban just yelling at the top of the roof because he's like one of the best coaches of all times and he's coached one of the best teams and programs of all time at Alabama, put Alabama on the map? Or has he actually got something cooking here?
I think the way that I view this is like it's a tale of two halves, if you will. The whole like JMU and Tulane making it into the playoffs. There is a legitimate argument that they just don't play the same games that the Power Four teams do. And anybody who says that is totally valid, in my opinion. I think I can actually get behind that. I'm like, why are they getting in? Like, there is a very real, have they done enough, really? Like, they beat who? They beat Arkansas State? Okay. Well, I guess Iowa State did that too. So I guess you can go. Like, that's kind of my mindset there. But at the exact same time, and I ask you this question, have you been anywhere talking to anybody? Could be someone who knows ball, someone who doesn't know ball. That's like, man, Really sucks that JMU and Tulane got in, right? Like that sucks. Really wish we would have had other teams in. I haven't.
No, not unless you're like a Notre Dame fan that just wants to
Yeah,
find a way to sneak in there. No.
I'm sure
And
people in South Bend are saying that, but
sure. But like when you look at some of these teams, when you look at Tulane, when you look at some of these other schools, JMU, like, okay, they lost a couple football games as well. Alabama lost to Florida State. Florida State's not a good team this year. Like we've seen so many other teams lose bad football games and they still find their way into this conversation. Notre Dame was in the conversation after losing 2 games early in the season. Now, one of them was a 1-point loss to Texas A&M. One of them was a loss to Miami, both in the college football playoffs. You can make that argument that they deserve to be there, but I think that they deserve to be in the conversation. Do I think changes are going to happen because they found a way to get 2 in? Because this happened? Yes. I absolutely think that the committees, the Power 4 committee is not going to like this. The ACC commissioner is going to hate the fact that his championship winner didn't get in. The
basically
7-5 Duke
meaningless.
team. Right? Yeah. They're going to
Yeah,
hate that.
no. Dude, it would have been so sweet to see Duke get in. Like that would have been so. I was rooting for them so hard in that championship game. For me, it really just comes down to this whole system is so broken. Like it just is. I know we've talked about this before, but that's my viewpoint. Is like this is so far off base that there is no one off season fix. Like we're not going to be like, all right, we're just going to tweak this. Like we're this year we're going to push it to 32 teams. Like okay,
There'll always be
guess
one
what?
team that hates to be out. We see
There's
it in the
going to be
NCAA
problems.
tournament, right, Joe Klatt? We see it in the NCAA tournament. Look at last year. Look at West
UNC.
Virginia. West Virginia was on the bubble, and they thought they got screwed over and put North Carolina in because they had a North Carolina guy on the committee. There's always going to be one team.
There's always going to be one team, and it's like, how far out do you go where that one team that's getting kind of shafted is not an NFL or not NFL, a championship caliber team? Like, are we really? Did we actually? Who had West Virginia as a national championship last year? Like a contender?
No one. No one.
Probably nobody. Who has Notre Dame as a national title contender? Probably a few more people. Like I think that's you're probably still towing that line. But yeah, it's just the system is so far off. I want to get upset, but it's like there's just so much wrong that I don't even think it's worth doing.